Hi everyone, I'm Chauncey Nebula, and today let's talk about a magic button. Imagine that I had in my hand a magic button, and the way this magic button worked was very simple. With this magic button in hand, you could think of an item or an object and press the button, and the item or object would appear in front of you exactly as you intended it. There is no monkey's paw or genie who's just a jerk and won't give you what you want and picks apart your language and gives you exactly what you don't want. This is just a magic button that you press and you get what you want as intended. And imagine that I told you that you could have this button completely for free, no strings attached. You can just reach out your hand and I hand you the button and it's yours. I imagine that most of us would take the button. Most everyone has an object or something that they want that they either can't afford or is unavailable to them, either because of rarity or because of some reason other than rarity that I can't think of right now, if I'm being honest. And even if you can afford the item or it is available to you, who wouldn't just want to have it when they wanted it, exactly as they wanted it, for free? I think it's safe to assume that everyone would take the button. Now, for some people, this would mean fancy cars, or it would mean, really expensive trading cards. For some of us, if you're watching this channel, you're probably one of these people, it would mean lots of miniatures. I mean, it's not like we don't have enough already because we don't. We need more. Give me more. But here's the thing. When you hold out the button, you think of an object, a kit you want, and you press the button, and it appears in front of you. Does it appear built and painted? Or does it appear in the box? Or, of course, you could have the object built but not painted, or built and primed, or painted but still on the sprues. I suppose some people do that, which is kind of weird to me. But the thing is, the stage of completion that you choose when you push this button determines a lot about your relationship to miniature wargaming. The thing about miniature wargaming as a pastime is that there are really three aspects, and I'm not the first person to say this. You have the lore, you have the hobby, and then you have the gameplay. Most people don't enjoy all three of these things equally. Some people really love the lore, but they don't care for the hobby portion, and they think the miniatures are cool, but they're not super into the gaming. Some people love the hobby, but don't care about gaming. And some people love the gaming, but really couldn't care less about the hobby. And some people don't like all three. At which point, why are you doing anything related to miniature wargaming? Go do something else. You should still watch the videos on this channel, though. Do it. Because most people don't like these three portions equally, most people are not going to interact with the hobby in the same way. If you have a hobby, any hobby, you should do the things that you like. If there's something you don't like about your hobby, you don't have to do it, because a hobby is meant for recreation. You don't have to do the things you don't want to do for recreation. That's just counterintuitive. For myself, I love lore, and I enjoy painting, and I really like playing, but I don't like building as much. So for me, when I push this magic button, when I hold up this magic button and I press it, I would like to get something that's built but not painted. Now, of course, there's another consideration here, which is that if you have a magic button that gives you the models you want when you want them, you're going to end up with a lot of models. No one's going to look at a model that they want and not press the button. Everyone is going to press the button. For that reason, you might end up with a backlog, and pretty much every miniature wargamer has a backlog. In fact, we have a whole video series on this channel that is about people getting their backlogs done. I paint something up and then hope that it galvanizes everyone else to get something done. But the other thing to think about is, what do you do in your time? Do you seek to get games in as much as possible, or do you seek to make room for the hobby? If you try to get space for hobby time in your schedule, you're probably more interested in the hobby than you are in the gaming. If you find that you prefer to do a lot more hobby than gaming, then the hobby is more important to you, and that's what you should do. So you'll probably produce the magic button, press the magic button, and get unfinished models. But if you like all the gaming and so on, you're going to press the button and probably get painted models because you want to play with them. Now, at this point, you may think, well, no kidding, duh. Why is he talking about a magic button? Everyone knows this already. Everyone knows that people are interested in different parts of the hobby and that some things are more important to some people than others. Yes, I am fully aware that this is a very obvious principle. The problem is that I see a lot of people who really like the gaming, but they just are not interested in the hobby. I think this is more common than people who are interested in the hobby more than they're interested in the gaming. And these people who love the gaming but are not as interested in the hobby, they buy, 3D print, get gifted tons of models. And then they talk about the slog of trying to get their backlog done. And this is very interesting to me because what they're doing is they're intentionally sabotaging their free time. They are forcing themselves to have more of their free time taken up by building and painting models. Now, for a lot of people, time isn't unlimited. In fact, if you have unlimited time to do what you want when you want it, you're living the good life. But for most people, there's other stuff that we have to do. Most of us have jobs. Many of us have a family that we have to dedicate some degree of our time to. A lot of us have hobbies other than miniature wargaming that we want to invest time in. There are a lot of reasons why getting through a large backlog is just very overwhelming and sometimes just not possible. So when those people buy unbuilt, unpainted models, when they already have a slew of stuff to get done, I ask myself why. If it's because you intend to build it and paint it at some point and you're just going to deal with it, that's fine. But if you really are buying the model because you want to play with it, then you might want to consider going to a commission painter. A lot of my videos do end up being this kind of plea to do what you want and to do what makes you happy. But in this case, you're not only sabotaging your free time, you are also weakening the health of your bank account. If you love the hobby and you buy all these kits, that's just more fun for you. But if you're really a gamer and you keep buying the kits and you just find that you're not getting around to the stuff, then it's not doing you any favors. In my opinion, most people would be a lot better off if they zeroed in on the thing that they enjoy the most and did that. Because here's the thing, a lot of us have a lot of claims on our time. As I've said previously, jobs, family, other interests. What's your time worth? What's better, paying a commission painter however much to paint your army, or spending sometimes dozens of hours getting it done? The magic button is for me an interesting thought experiment. If you get this button, will you press it and get finished models, or will you press it and get unfinished models? For myself, I have a lot that I have to do in my day, and I have a lot of games that I want to play. For myself, I'll press the button and get some unfinished models, but a lot of models I'll press the button and I'll get them finished, painted in the way that I want. This is a magic button, you use it to its full potential. And also for me, I don't have enough models. I don't have a backlog that's crushing. No. Don't you look left, you look... For those of you who really enjoy gaming over the hobby, I think it is a good idea to look into commission painters. Look into finding someone who can do the tedium for you. There are a lot of great commission painters out there, and a lot of them are struggling financially. I'm sure they'd be happy to take on whatever work you wanted to give them. On the other hand, if you really enjoy the hobby, but don't care as much about gaming, Go nuts, buy models, paint them, build them. Have fun with it. Or build them and don't paint them, or paint them and don't build them. Or just let them sit there and do nothing with them. Figure out how important the hobby is to you. Figure out how important gaming is to you. Figure out how important the lore is to you. Stop wasting your time on the things that you don't enjoy. Let me know down in the comments below what portion of the hobby you enjoy the most. Is it the hobby portion? Is it the gaming portion? Is it the lore? Is it some combination of all three? Or do you just like the community? And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon. They're all right down there. Right down there. Press them. You won't regret it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.